You would definitely not believe what this pastor just said about Pastor Jerry EZE. In fact, it was so dramatic that Pastor Jerry himself had to give a response. Now, listen to what he said and listen to what Pastor Jerry also said in response to his speech. God bless you.
This our brother that usually stay every morning 7 a.m. and he's always praying. Pastor Jerry, when he started newly, I know of one of my friends that started that thing with him. Let me start my own early morning prayer. My guy do on 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 days. Started developing serious issue in his neck. Oh boy, you are trying to do what you don't have grace for. God has not given you grace for this thing, and you want to kill yourself. That's why you are suffering the affliction. That man can ready to shout for 24 hours. Nothing will happen to him because he has grace for that thing, and no affliction can come and stop him in that regard because God has empowered him by grace in that reality. I also have a friend who he doesn't need to shout. You see blind eyes opening, deaf ears, all kinds of miracles. So I decided to trick him to go to the mountain with me. So I want to study his life to know what is actually beating that power in his life. Then went to the mountain and engaged him in prayer. 30 minutes, this guy was tired. I prayed though for 2 hours. The guy started sleeping on the rock. So I'm now like, bro, I found that you are not strong in prayer. So by what means are you powering the miracle? You know what he told me? Listen, no be by work, it's by grace. It was later on I found out that his great-grandfather was a founder of an Anglican church. His father has opened like 3 redeemed parishes. Now the guy is enjoying grace. My papa, my great-grandfather, all of them, they labored in iniquity. Now this guy is enjoying the grace of his fathers. I'm trying to compete with him.
Parents with no glory, parents with no encounters, parents who have not known the depths of God will never bear children with great destinies. Let me say this to you. Trace greatness in children most times. Trace greatness. If it does not have anything to do with their immediate parents, it has something to do with their grandparents or great-grandparents. At some point in their journey, there was someone who laid and made a covenant and raised an altar to God for their generations, and the altar continues to speak even long after they are gone. It takes, go and check. Just sit back and check. There was something that their great-grandparents did right that is speaking over the lives of their children. It is not only generational curse that speaks, generational blessings are also speaking. So any attack the devil is raising against my relationship with God is an attempt to commonize the destinies of my children. When the devil begins to attack your prayer life, when the devil begins to attack your consecration, I want you to know it's not about you. It's about generation tied to you. There are spiritual and supernatural possibilities God has routed through you to your children. When you are not living right, you block it from flowing. There are great things the Lord has routed, but you know that it's the same way they have to suckle in order for them to reach a particular age before they start eating on their own or eating solid food. That is the same way God is routing some things. The same way you, man, carried the seed that was fertilized, that became a fetus in the womb of the woman. Another, there are too many things that were routed. Even spiritual things are routed through the parents. If the child has not yet had an encounter, they are depending on your own encounter to become the greatness that the Lord has ordained them for. God keeps routing great things through you to your children, but you're not serious. You would rather play than pray. You would rather settle for less. You would rather hang out with the boys, hang out with the girls, than understanding that your children's destinies must not be wasted. My mother didn't let mine waste. I am who I am because I had a woman who prayed for me, who stood up for me. I had a woman, when I was sleeping, she would lay hands, she would pray for me. I had a woman who, though she was not educated, She looked me in the eye when I told her I have a job with the UN. She said, that is not God's will for you. How can an uneducated woman not celebrate a child that has a job in the United Nations? How many more instructions your child? You see, the truth is that most of the time when our children go to university or do their masters and they come out, they start parenting their parents. Because at that point, no parent has a clear-cut direction anymore from God. There are heavy things the Lord has routed to you, and I don't want you to continue to waste it. Some children who are out there smoking marijuana and doing all kinds of things will tell you, I know there's a time I used to recite, I used to do recitation in church. What happened? Who was watching over them? Who was praying over them? Who was raising them before God? Is that how we're going to raise the kind of children that heaven will be proud of? I don't care whether they go to America or not. I don't care whether they go to UK or not. What is important is that heaven is proud of these children. And please, every action of yours, every action of yours is either letting something flow through you, obstructing what was meant to flow through you to them. I want you to know that even giving your children suckle is not something you wake up to and say, oh, I feel like it right now. Because some of you are handling these spiritual matters as if it's something you feel like. I feel like praying now. I feel like praying for my children right now. I feel like doing this for my children. No, it's supposed to be a way of life. I'm tired of hearing children die prematurely because we have parents who are not watchful. I'm tired of having a child raised in church but ends up singing in the club because there are parents who are not watchful. Pastor, but what are you talking about? Do your own part first. Do your own part first. Cover them. Except the gospel is a lie. I and the children the Lord has given to me, we are for signs and wonder. Do your own part first. There are things, I'm not saying the children will not be challenged. I'm not saying they're not going to go through times when you will question, did they hear what I taught them the first time? But it will not last because it's a covenant over their lives. It will not last. Were there not times I wanted to be like other children? But at those times I just keep hearing my mother telling me, you are not like them. You can never be like them. It took a woman with glory to birth an uncommon child. You can buy them all the video games, but video games don't sustain destiny. You can take them to good schools,